Yo, what's up? It's David Long here. I'm going to go over some of my Star Wars collection, doing some house cleaning, and wanted to get a good inventory and pack all this stuff up, and hopefully still be able to keep some of it out, but a lot of it is just going to be getting put away for the time being. All right, so I guess we're going to start with the lightsabers right now. One of the cool ones that I have, this was a couple bucks off the internet, but this is actually a 3D printed Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3 lightsaber. Kind of cool what they can do, but yeah. All right, moving on. These are some that I got around 2014. These are from GameStop. These are definitely not the same quality as the ones that you're going to see here shortly, but it was cool. I had to really seek these out. Started learning about like supply part numbers and in stock and all that kind of stuff. So these are the ones that we still keep out to battle if we need to or anything. We definitely don't battle with those, but they're still pretty cool though.
Wow.
And you'll be able to see shortly like some of the lines that are in these. You're not going to see in the other ones. These are just about 30, 40 bucks a piece, but I was stoked to find them though, regardless. All right, yeah, this was actually Episode 1 Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Darth Vader lightsaber. This cheap, but we got this at our recent Disney Galaxy's Edge adventure. This is Rey from the sequel staff. Not much to see there, but just kind of a cool little thing, little prop to have. All right, moving on. This is the trilogy, the original trilogy lightsabers. Now I kind of had to back off of these just because they are kind of addicting, but they also are the things that go up the most in pricing after you buy them. So even though they were at the time, they've gone up since. They were about $150 a piece. A lot of these are worth $400 maybe plus, and some of them even more than that. So yeah, this is a Darth Vader's lightsaber, and as you can see, in comparison to this other one, there are no lines or any of that stuff in these. These are actually metal hilts, which is awesome. Metal hilts on these guys, and I think just a better soundboard in general. Oh yeah, and awesome. They come with these cool stands. You can put them on a shelf or any of that stuff, but I've had these hanging out. These actually might be hanging up in the barn here pretty soon, so we'll see. This is from Return of the Jedi. This is Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Awesome green lightsaber. Now, in the actual movie, it has a thin neck like this one, like this Obi-Wan Kenobi one, which I'm assuming it was kind of modeled after, but given the fact that these are designed to kind of beat up against each other, they added the fatter neck on it, but still pretty cool. Moving along, we have the first lightsaber that you ever see in Star Wars. This is Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber from A New Hope, given to Luke Skywalker. That's why you see him on the box. But this is the first time you see a lightsaber in Star Wars, and very, very cool piece to have. Now, what you might see, so I opened these three. These are the original three, and I quit my collecting of high-quality lightsabers after these three. But I did get this one unopened just to save. Like I said, these things go up tremendously in value. Got this at GameStop, I believe. Somewhere in, I think Vince Immel and I went down to Laurenburg to get this one, so that's pretty cool. A lot of these pieces have memories. Most of them weren't something that I ordered online. Most of them were something that I went out and found in the wild, so that's always cool. All right, moving along, move over to the helmets. This is an X-Wing helmet, kind of cool, cheap one. Okay, so this one doesn't slide up, but I think I got this one online for about 20 or 30 bucks from a costume, Halloween costume site. But still pretty cool little piece to have. Now this one, we also got recently at Galaxy's Edge. You can see the quality difference. This one actually has some electronics in it too that you could talk, sliding up, little visor. Yeah, we caught that at Galaxy's Edge after flying the Millennium Falcon. Moving along, we have Captain Rex. Pretty cool. There's some electronics in this one. The batteries have been dead for some time now, but it also has electronics to where it's voice changing and all that fun stuff. This guy, TIE Fighter helmet, much like this one right here. I got this off of a Halloween prop store type deal for 20, 30 bucks. Cool piece to have, all rubber. So, now this is pretty cool. This is the only one that's like an actual mask per se. But this is Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace. And I got this in Indianapolis at IndyCon. I happened to be in town for one of my previous work trips. Found him, and that was a cool weekend. Moving along, this is definitely the highest quality one that I own personally. Got this at the Spring Lake GameStop, about 100 bucks. I don't recall if I was heading up to Raleigh, but I do remember texting Lee Ramsdale specifically about this after I got it. What's really cool about this guy is that it all comes apart. So if you kind of see around it, it's magnetized, it has clips. So you can actually put this thing on. And it's magnetized, so you can straight up wear this. And there is voice changing, stuff in here, electronics. So just an awesome piece to have. This one is definitely one of my favorites. And we're back. As you can see, this thing is awesome. Deserves a better costume, but it'll be all right. Wanted to give a quick fit check for you.
That's dope.
Ooh, good save. All right, moving on. This is something that I received this Christmas from some great friends of mine, Vince and Amanda Immel. Awesome Boba Fett helmet. Lego set. I hate that I haven't been able to make this yet. It's one of those things like I just don't have anywhere to put any of this stuff yet, so I'd hate to make it and then it get destroyed. And it's just such a nice piece that I can't wait to one day in the future have a place to store this and actually get to make that with them or my children or anybody else. All right, moving on. Some of this stuff over here, this is just kind of the random stuff right here, just in this little section right here, but all of it's pretty cool to me though. All right, this guy in particular, I can't recall exactly where I got this guy at, but I know it was in Florida somewhere. And what's really cool about this thing is how articulate this Darth Vader is. This is about a 12-inch model. The lightsaber doesn't seem quite accurate in length, but very cool though. It's cool, he's got the chain necklace. Like I said, he's so articulate. This is like some actual pleather or something, so that's badass. It comes with other hand attachments and different lightsaber and everything else. So pretty cool little display piece. Moving on, this is probably one of the oldest pieces in my collection. This was gifted to me by a chief that I had in the military. He was an old Star Wars fan. He's probably in his 50s or something like that, but it was my birthday and he hooked it up. But this thing, I wonder, so this is saying 97 for this 1-year membership for the Star Wars fan club. So that was probably about the time I was getting into it, but just an awesome model. Once again, something I don't want to get started building and not have an awesome place to display it, because if I'm going to do it, I want to get an airbrush and make this thing look badass. All right, moving on. Some of these are the 375s. These aren't the ones that I primarily collect, as you'll see shortly. but the 3.75 inch Black Series or the Powers of the Force series or any of that stuff, still awesome. And some of these have a special story too. This is actually the only Mandalorian piece that I have in my entire collection. I got that at a local GameStop. Just kind of cool to have. Now these three, Ponda Baba, Sand Trooper, and Bib Fortuna. These were all gifted to me from Justin Griffin, good friend of mine from Greensboro, North Carolina, that knew I was into this stuff. Man, I really appreciated that. That was a nice thought. These guys are all loose, but once again, just cool little pieces. We got both of these are the Clone Wars, Obi and Anakin, pretty badass. We have a Return of the Jedi Luke with cloak, cool, all black outfit. Darth Vader with removable helmet. This was kind of cool. These were separate purchases. I remember getting these in Florida from the same place where I got these Bobas you'll see here shortly. This is training Luke from Empire Strikes Back and Yoda. And kind of cool. You can sit in his back and do front flips all over Dagobah. Now this, Rogue One, I can promise you this is probably the only action figure that I have from Rogue One, but a cool one. I can't exactly remember what these guys are even called, but cool trooper, and I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be pretty badass. Moving on, we have Rey from Jakku, even with the garb, the sand garb and all that stuff. Just cool to have. Moving on, we have Princess Leia Organa from the sequels. Now, I specifically remember getting this actually right after I heard the news that she had passed. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's cool to have nice little memoirs and stuff like that to remember the actors. All right, moving on. These guys, I got both of these in Florida at a Disney shop in the Destin Mall. Now, what's different about these than some of the ones that you're going to see here shortly, these guys are straight up metal, and they're badass. They're very heavy to pick up. This is the original Boba colorway, and then I guess this is the very original Boba Fett. This is the prototype Boba Fett when they were just kind of drawing him up before he was ever released. This is once they decided to put him in the movie, give him a colorway and all that stuff. So that's prototype Boba, not a color on me or any of that stuff. That's just how he looked. All right, moving on. One of my personal favorite troopers of the entire fleet. This is the Biker Scout, right? Scout Trooper, sorry. Anyway, Scout Trooper, awesome speeder bike that he's got from Return of the Jedi. And yeah, just these were the Rangers, I guess, if you want to call it. It comes with a little pistol and all that stuff. It's got this guy as well that you can get up in here if you want to display them and really put them at any angle that you want. So cool piece. I got him in Florida. I got him somewhere in the Panhandle at a comic book shop. So that was pretty cool. All right, now moving on to the 6-inch collection. So this is where my bread and butter is, I guess. This is what I'm mostly into. And this is, a lot of these are random. Some I ordered offline, but the large majority were not ordered offline. So it's cool to be able to get stuff out in the wild and find it. That's the fun of a lot of this, is actually hunting it. So first up, you can pull up in here if you want to. We have Darth Raven from the Knights of the Old Republic. He's only from the video games, so that's pretty cool. They're saying he might be in some of the new stuff that's coming out with Star Wars pretty soon in the future. But yeah, pretty badass. He is the main character in the Knights of the Old Republic. Moving on, another totally badass dude, Plo Koon, member of the Jedi Council. He's been in the Clone Wars, and yeah, he's just awesome. What I originally remember about him in some of the video games from when I was a kid was he had an orange lightsaber, but maybe they changed that later on or something else. But Plo Koon. Kit Fisto, water type dude, water and land, but what's cool about him is his lightsaber could go underwater. Fought in the Clone Wars, cool dude. Padme Amidala, this is from episode 2, I believe. Yeah, episode 2, I'm guessing. Pretty cool random piece to have. I think she's my only Amidala that I own. Moving right along to the second strongest Jedi, or third maybe, I guess, depending on how you want to call it, but Mace Windu, second in charge on the Jedi Council. Totally badass, one of the few dudes that used the dark side as well as the light side. He was one of the few people that actually could do that. So Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson. If you look closely, it says bad motherfucker on that lightsaber. Moving on, Clone Commander Cody, Obi-Wan's right-hand man. So pretty much all you need to know about him. He was in charge of Obi-Wan's fleet. Tusken Raider, as you've seen in some of the old movies, but also recently in The Mandalorian and the new Boba. So kind of cool that they're getting a new breath, a new perspective on these guys. Awesome piece. This one is General Grievous from Episode 3 in the Star Wars. Pretty cool. He comes with all 4 lightsabers and arms. Totally posable as all of them. But got this one not long ago at a Fayetteville Comic-Con at the Crown Coliseum. He was kind of rare. I was stoked to find him, so that's always pretty cool. Next up, we got my man Lando from Cloud City in his Cloud City outfit. He's got some other ones that I need to get a hold of as well, but this is the original. This is the first time you see him pimping down the walkway in his cape and shit, man. So that's a cool piece. This one, semi-recent. Obi-Wan Kenobi is Padawan Episode 1. You're going to see I have a lot of Obis. He's definitely my favorite character from the series and has been for a long time, but this is the first time you see him. Padawan. Moving along, this is Episode 3. You'll see I have Episode 2 coming up here shortly, but this is Episode 3. Episode 3, Obi-Wan. Awesome. Not the best paint job on the face. Some of the this is one of the older, I guess, blue line series for the black series overall. But if you look at some of them, they have different line marks in it, and that's how you can know how old it is, what line, what year it came out, and all that stuff. But the facial technology gets much better as well. Because to me, this doesn't really look like them, but still a cool piece to have. All right, moving along. I got this one at a Comic-Con. I actually have him open because he's already, I had him open before. But what's cool about this Darth Vader is this is Episode 6 Darth Vader with a hair. But what's cool about this is the helmet is removable. So, awesome. So yeah, this is right before he's gonna die. Cool piece to have. I got that one in Florida at a Comic-Con. Moving up, I actually have these displayed maybe it's what you might see it, but we have the 2 royal guards. Sidious always had his 2 royal guards with him. These dudes were supposed to be badass enough to fight Darth Vader if they needed to, or anybody else that might try to come at Palpatine, even though Palpatine could probably easily handle them himself. But yeah, awesome piece to have. You can't just have one of those, you gotta have both. Moving on from another comic shop in Florida. This is Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. He does have a hood, it's kind of tucked down in there, but awesome to have the Emperor here. Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious, whatever you want to call him. Moving along, Grand Moff Tarkin. as made popular in episode 4. So he's also in the Clone Wars and served kind of alongside a young Anakin Skywalker when he was on the good side. Right. Oh yeah, and with Torture Droid. That's kind of cool. Moving on, this is from a local Target. Found that, I remember that specifically, but kind of cool. This is a Gamorrean guard, and cool that it has some like fur of some type on him. Very realistic, got all of his attachments and weapons and all that stuff. Pretty badass from Jabba's palace. All right, moving along. This is one of my personal favorite ones of the ones that I have. As you can see, if I were to grab this guy again, this is it's relatively newish in the past couple of years, but if you look at the faces between the two, one looks much more like Ewan McGregor for sure. So it just got better as time goes on. They continue to figure out how their ink technology on the toys and all that stuff works. But this one's really cool because it's not something you actually see in the movies. You kind of see it in maybe some of the comics or the animated series, but this is Clone Commander Obi-Wan. This is when he's in the Clone Wars, and yeah, awesome piece. Same type deal, similar as the last one. Like I said, this one actually is very kind of newish within the past year. This is from the Clone Wars. You can see it doesn't have the same brown cloak as before, but this is definitely something that you saw in the Clone Wars a lot, this type of outfit with the Jedi Order logo on the side of the shoulder and all that stuff. Cool piece. Different boxing too, specifically for the Clone Wars. All right. Good. Moving on, this one I think I got last fall. Pretty cool, Count Dooku. You can't really see, I've never opened this one, but the lightsaber on this one, not only does it have his curved lightsaber, but it has a different blade so that if you were to pose it, it kind of looks like he's swinging it. That's a cool addition that most of the other ones didn't have. All right, moving on. Count Dooku's apprentice / Obi-Wan's master, Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah, things might have been a lot different had he lived past Darth Maul. Awesome piece, stoked to get him. What's really cool about this one, this is like a second release of Qui-Gon Jinn. The first one, he had some really crazy eyes in the paint scheme, and it looked like black dots. It looked like he was staring you into your soul, and he was real creepy. But this one, they did a lot better job. All right, moving on. You can see I have 2 of this guy. Just because not because I'm crazy stoked out on Jar Jar Binks, but this is the first time he's ever been in an action figure of this caliber, of this line anyway. Very cool that he comes with the Gungan shield and a lot of the other attachments. But like I said, this is his first action figure from the Phantom Menace. Awesome, had to get 2. This guy, I don't particularly know why I have 2 of these, but cool to have. Episode 2 Obi-Wan's, and like I said, the episode 3 that I have over there is got some age on it now, but you can just see how much better they got at the detailing and making these things actually look like the people they're supposed to. So kind of pairing these together, episode 2 Obi-Wan, episode 2 Anakin. Hard to find, but cool, glad I got them. It's a trap. Got Admiral Akbar. Rare. I think I got him at Target or Best Buy. I got him at Best Buy here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Episode 4, Yavin Ceremony. Obviously caught him on sale, but cool piece to have. Moving on, these are actually probably some of the few sequel characters that I have, but I had to at least get these 2 main characters. We have Kylo Ren with his crossblade lightsaber, and we have Rey and Dio. Kind of cool. I had to get at least these 2 out of all of them if I was going to get any. Moving on, from the Clone Wars animated series. We have Asajj Ventress, fallen Jedi, but pretty cool character. 2 lightsabers and super powerful. And like I said, it's always cool when they have some kind of cool costume that isn't just paint or anything else. Yeah, Asajj Ventress. She was Dooku's apprentice at one point. Now this one, got this one jacked up in the mail, but this is, even though he's jacked up, I was really stoked to get this one because if you were to find one of the original Anakin Skywalkers, he was outrageously expensive in the box. So even though he's totally jacked up in here, how I received him or found him, I can't really recall. Awesome to have Episode 3 Anakin Skywalker. Moving on, also another totally jacked up packaging, but cool. Dagobah Yoda. Got a snake around his neck, got his lightsaber, which you actually didn't see in Dagobah, and his walking cane. Awesome piece. Now, if you actually see, that's kind of cool. I wonder if this one has it. So these are the archive lines, but if you look, you can see the originals on there from 2014. It says that was the original year that they released these. Now these archive ones, I think, were to get people to be able to get a hold of these, right? So, because you're obviously going to get a hold of one of these, unless you're going to pay secondhand a lot of money. But these were just kind of remakes so that like people could have copies of the cool characters that they release. Cool idea. Archive, Luke Skywalker, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Awesome piece. Now this one, somewhere inside my house, we're doing some kind of late spring cleaning. I have another copy of this from the Star Wars celebration, 40th anniversary celebration in 2017, and it is my most valuable piece that I own to date. And it has foil and all this stuff, but it's definitely my prized 6-inch, but I need to find it somewhere. Awesome piece though. Cool to have another one just in case, but yeah, cool. Bosk, the bounty hunter. You see him in The Empire Strikes Back when when Darth Vader is trying to find Luke. Now, just a cool ass piece. Like I said, and you can see the blue line. So blue line is from 2015. Cool character. He's also in some of the video games and pretty powerful. He's got some crazy ass X-ray hunter vision kind of deal. Cool. Another archive, Boba Fett. Just a Boba Fett. He's cool. I'm glad that he's coming back though and getting some more popularity. I was never quite as much of a Boba fan as everybody else seemed to be, but he's still pretty cool. All right, and you can see his original release date was 2013. Moving on, one of my personal favorite villains, also with a totally jacked up packaging, but like I said, these are just awesome to have, so we're not even sweating the packaging. I'm just excited to have one of these at all. And you can see down in here, he's covered up by the packaging. If you're not feeling the hooded look, you can go straight up horned head. His original release date, 2013. And actually with this one, you can kind of see that you're getting different heads to be able to put on this figure. Cool that his lightsaber is broken in half in case you want to have him run it like that. And he's got his binoculars. Pretty cool. Now this guy, R5-D4, this is a GameStop exclusive. Pretty cool. This is actually going to tie more into the ones that you're going to see over here in a second. But this is the one that was sabotaged by R2-D2, I believe, to make him blow up when Luke Skywalker was going to choose him. A lot of people may or may not know that, but yes, he was sabotaged. So when Luke chooses this guy, he pretty much blows up. And then Luke says, okay, hey, I'll take the blue one instead, right? Cool piece though. Moving on. Yeah, this one's relatively newish. I may have got this last year. Kind But yeah, the facial technology in this stuff is just insane, man. If you look at that picture of Leia beside it, it's so much better than some of the ones that I have elsewhere around here. All right. Now, I guess this is almost going to wrap up the tour, but this is a collection around the 40th anniversary of A New Hope, and I'm assuming that when this came out way back in the day, it was cool. Actually, during that time frame, they started doing all this retro packaging. Pretty cool. But these were, I guess, the original people that they had action figures for. But it's kind of one of those things, you got to get them all. You can't just get one. This display set was sold with Darth Vader and this setup, so you can actually set all these people up on here. But yeah, I had to make sure I got all of them. So we got Tusken Raider, we got C-3PO, we have a some type of Death Star worker. He's the guy that I guess gonna press the button. We got my only Han Solo, pretty tight. And all of their attachments, since these are loose, these are some of the only loose ones that I have specifically for this display. All their attachments and extra hands and weapons and all that kind of stuff are in here. But yeah, that's a cool looking Han Solo. I wish I had a Greedo to go with him, but it's still cool. His trusty partner, Chewbacca. We have Princess Leia of Alderaan, and you can see this isn't that bad. Some of the old Leias like this have just the painting wasn't the greatest, but this one's not too bad. Cool clothing on her. We have Farm Boy Luke. This is what this guy's actually called, a Farm Boy Luke, and yeah, just Luke Skywalker. Pretty cool. Now R2 is totally sick. I honestly can't really remember how to open all this stuff, but yeah, you can open up all of his little flaps, and there's stuff hidden all throughout this guy, even up top. You can put a lightsaber in there, and it came with all that stuff too. It's actually his third wheel down here comes out as well. But yeah, this one's really badass, and I remember this being kind of rare and hard to find at the time, and I think it still might be. But yeah, awesome piece. Stoked to have an R2. Darth Vader. This one, as you can see from the one before, this one's helmet doesn't come off, so different. He actually has his lightsaber in his hand. Regular old stormtrooper, but probably my only stormtrooper, so cool to have. We got Old Ben. What's cool about this, they did him, and they've done some other ones, but I've seen that they released one where he's basically blue. He's almost clear, see-through blue as Force Ghost that you see in Empire Strikes Back and some of the other movies, I guess, Return of the Jedi. So that's cool. They've made some like Force Ghost characters. Last one from the set, I tried to have them all set up. And actually, the one that they released that wasn't the Force Ghost looked a lot like this guy right here. He had that original look. Now, the very last one in the collection, this particular 40th anniversary set, is the Jawa. Pretty cool. Little black eyes, or yellow eyes, wrapped face. Awesome. Cool piece. And just because I'm kind of nerdy, these ones were similar to those when you open them up. I made sure to hang on to all these. Don't mean anything to anybody else, but somebody like me, I like to hang on to little things like that. Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in for the collection. I know I have some more stuff inside, but this is just the room that we've been trying to clean up and get ready for other purposes. But appreciate you joining in. Peace.